Hi there, yes of course, it's Nick back on the Get Me Off Grid video blog. Just a quick ramble about the distillation of alcohol project I'm working on at the moment. Yes, I'm still trying to get the solar planned out, or at least trying to find the time so I can get the next solar panel sorted out. But this alcohol for a fuel project is quite important as well, because essentially, hot water, space heating and cooking, when it's not good enough weather for you to do this outside, is very important. Okay, when it is good enough weather to do these things outside, you've got wood gas, there's all kinds of solutions you can do with rocket stoves and 16 brick fires and God alone knows what. But when the weather's not good enough, it's too cold, it's too wet, and so on and so forth, you've got to have an indoor solution. That's why ethanol is so important. Right, okay. What I've done today is I've gone online and I have purchased for myself a spirit not a thermometer, what's it called? A spirit hydrometer. Because you've got two types of hydrometers for measuring the alcohol by volume or proof of the alcohol. One is for beer and wine and the other is for spirits. So I've purchased one of these things and some good yeast. Now this type of yeast is a special species or strain which is capable of fermenting over a 7-day period up to 23% alcohol by volume. So that's nearly a quarter of the entire volume of the fluid will hopefully have turned itself to basically pure alcohol. And it's not recommended for any form of drinking alcohol because it's like, it's strong. One assumes therefore it's a fuel alcohol yeast. And I got it from wineworks.co.uk. I don't know whether they mail to America, but essentially they're one solution, so I'm just telling you about this. And I'm quite looking forward to getting that through. One of the reasons that I'm planning on distilling this ultra strong stuff, which I'm going to ferment at home, is to verify the power of my existing still. Now, previously I was just buying cheap tramp juice at 7% or 7.5% and distilling that to try and get some combustible alcohol. Taking into account the volume of fluid that was coming off, maybe on the first run I was getting something like 30% or less, and maybe on the second run I was getting less than 60%, and you're supposed to have about 74% or more for combustion alcohol. So yeah, there's a reason why it didn't go on fire when I put a cigarette lighter to it. Alright, it wasn't strong enough because I was probably using the wrong stuff. I was distilling the wrong stuff. So I'm trying again with a stronger solution. That's the whole idea behind it. But I want to also experiment with other on-grid distillers as well as therefore, looking on to off-grid distillers as well. So that's where things are going to start to basically get a bit more complex, as I think about using like wood gas as the means to produce the heat for proper distillation. The variety of big, good-looking stills which are out there, they're pricey things. So I'm trying to do everything on the cheap way, and apparently you can even use a slow cooker or crock pot as a thing which provides the heat and enough heat to shift the alcohol out of the wash, but not enough to shift the water out of the wash and send it down pipe. So I think if I can invest in the right quantity of copper piping and I can create a lid with a seal for my slow cooker, I might be able to use that. Alright. And I've been thinking about all of this stuff on the walk back from my local Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, so as far as a state of mind of complete ambivalence is concerned, yeah, I've pretty much had that. But essentially, this is important. I really think I should be doing it. Now, as far as the fireplace is concerned, I want to do that in, I suppose, the least troublesome way. Once you've already got strong alcohol for burning, you can use alcohol stoves, Trangias and penny stoves and can stoves and the rest of it. So if I can just get a selection of those together through going down to junk shops, jumble sales, garage sales, car boot sales, and the rest of that, just picking up lots of second-hand methylated spirit stoves, and I can use them, get to know the quantity of heat they tend to put out, get to know the quantity of energy they put out with different strengths of alcohol and different quantities of alcohol, learn about the burning times and all the rest of that kind of stuff. I can then work out with any particular burning session which particular stoves I want to use to generate the right quantity of heat, and I'll just treat that as being my ethanol fireplace maybe. I mean, I'll still want to do City Pyromaniac stuff and make my own little, like, more gel burners and more liquid ethanol burners, basically for the hell of it. But that's going to have to be for fun. That's not for practicality. You know, I want to be able to heat my flat. That's it. I want to heat my flat. I want to have hot water, and I want to be able to cook. Those are the most important things. So I've got to get to know this stuff well through experience and practice. And also getting to know fermentation well and getting to know distillation well are also important skills for me to develop. I could just do a speculative drivel thing here on this YouTube channel. I could show you something whizzy and fun and say, like, oh, wouldn't it be great, like, in the future we could all have this, that, and the other, and you could sit there going, oh, wow, isn't that beautiful? Or basically I can just show you that I'm going through the process of experimenting and learning because I want to do this as part of my way of life. Okay, I've got dehydration using a dehydrator sorted out. I understand that. I understand canning now, which is brilliant. But I've now got to learn how to do canning off-grid. And I've got to try and create for myself, through by hook or by crook, a off-grid dehydrator as well for the purposes of preserving food. Okay? And I still haven't looked into pickling, so that's another thing for me to basically get my head around. So what you're watching here is a man who is taking the process of getting himself off-grid deathly seriously. All right, this isn't a joke. This isn't for, you know, this isn't for fun. This is deathly serious. And I think that this is probably, I mean, the future of humanity is going to be like a combination of two different worlds. On one side of things, we're going to have like all the high-tech stuff and like great mobile phones or cell phones with like tons of functionality. We're going to have internet access and all the good stuff that can bring, but we'll probably be going back to like horse and cart type technology or something similar to that, you know, semi-agrarian, because of the peak oil problems and all the rest of that. We're going to be in this like totally schizophrenic world with good technology and old technology living together in harmony, and it may just have to be that way. All right, that's a future I could really foresee for us humans, and part of that is to do with peak oil, and part of that is to do with the environment, and part of that is to do with the economy, and the fact that, you know, the 1% have not done their duty by us, and just all the rest of that stuff. You know, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just the way things are going.